new place, a different place, a vibrant place, and it's the most active community focused on the democracy building of any community that I represent in the city of Chicago. It's great to be a part. Bernie, thank you and your family for what you've meant to all of us. Thank you, and it's a pleasure. And I almost forgot my other responsibilities to introduce the outstanding state representative who represents this area, the Honorable Teresa Wong.
Well, good morning. I'd like to start by greeting the seniors in the room in Cantonese. Josan, daga ho. Welcome to 非常高興參加呢個節目. Good morning, everyone. It is truly a thrill to be here on this amazing occasion where we're honoring Bernie Wong and Albert Wong with the dedication of the Senior Center. I'd like to echo some of Congressman Davis's words about how important Bernie has been in helping me become who I am today. Almost 10 years ago, I had a desk here at Castle. I was working for CBCAC, the Coalition for a Better Chinese American Community, with C.W. Chan, sorry. And every day, my desk was just steps away from Bernie's office, and I'd see her every day, and my desk was in the middle of the department that serves seniors, the in-home care program, the CCP program, and I learned so much about the needs in Chinatown and the importance of the senior population and the programs that were created to serve them. And I've just always been in awe of Bernie, and not just from going into her office and seeing all the awards and honors and photographs with incredible dignitaries and important people, including the President of the United States. I thought, well, one day I want to grow up to be Bernie Wong. But this is an honor that I can't think of a greater honor for the work that she's done for our community and the influence that she's had in making Chinatown what it is today. And so it's just incredible to be here, to be a part of it. And congratulations, Bernie. And thank you, all of you, for being here for this occasion as well. Thank you. And next up we have the Secretary of the Illinois Department of Human Services, Grace Cohn.
Thank you, Representative. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I'm also a graduate of the University of Chinese American Service League. There's three of us actually in the front row here. And to echo what Congressman Davis said, there are actually many of us young Asian American women and men who grew up through the leadership of Bernie Wong. And as I look around the room, Arthur and Ray, those were all kind of teachers for us along our journey. I started at Chinese American Service League actually 25 years ago, so it's been half my life. If you could do the math, you know that I'm coming up on a big one. But I think I know for a fact that I would not be the Secretary of the Illinois Department of Human Services had I not served under the leadership of Bernie. And so I started out as a development associate, and my office was right by hers as well on 24th Place. And this was before track changes was a thing. And so I would submit my proposal to her, and I would get it back with like a lot of red ink. And so thankfully, over the course of my time with her, there was less and less red ink. And I still remember those times very fondly, and actually helped me pivot my career to a full, to really embracing the sector of helping. But I think what we know as graduates of kind of the school of Bernie Wong is once you work for Bernie Wong, you always work for Bernie Wong. And so when I see her her caller ID up on my phone, I kind of brace myself. I'm like, okay, what does she want? How can I help her? And I think people joke about, Bernie asking for this or asking for that. The truth is that it was never for herself. Bernie was always asking for the Chinese American community, for Castle, for everybody in this room. And she defines the word selfless. We talk about sacrifice, but it's just in her DNA to want to drive towards change and to making the lives of people around her. She is the strongest, boldest, fiercest person that I know, and I feel really lucky to have had her in my life. Thank you, Bernie, and congratulations. It's my pleasure to welcome, I apologize, Sukmiki Watkins.
Good morning. Good morning. It is an honor to be here today. I would like to express regrets that President Peckwinkle is unable to make it. She asked that I read these remarks on her behalf. I have always supported the wonderful work that the Chinese American Service League does for the community. This organization provides a foundation and a critical resource for so many residents in need, from ESL classes for recent immigrants to employment to housing. I am grateful to them for the wonderful work that they do and proud to celebrate 40 years of continuous service to the people of Chicago. I'm sure those of you in this room already know that none of this would have been possible without Bernie Wong's dedication, tenacity, and generous spirit. She built the Chinese American Service League into a model organization, and she is a true pillar in the community. That is why it is a very special honor to dedicate the senior living community to Albert and Bernie Wong, two of the most selfless and giving people in Chicago. We know that affordable housing, especially for seniors, is in dire need in Cook County and the city of Chicago. And I am so grateful to the Chinese American Service League for addressing this need. It is something I advocate for tirelessly, but it's leaders within the community like Bernie Wong who really affect change for the better. Congratulations again, and here's to 40 more years. Thank you very much. And next, I would like to introduce Alderman Central Lopez.
And good morning, everyone. What an honor. I'm so humbled to be here with all of you celebrating Albert and Bernie Wong. Obviously, the weather is a little bit cold, but we compensate with the warmth and the welcoming nature of the Chinatown community. So this is standing only room is great to celebrate the legacy of a wonderful leader and blueprint in our community. I'd like to just share, obviously just with the many people that continue to come to the podium, I think is enough to say of the nurturing and the leadership of Bernie, just in the empowering of the leaders that she's, through her work, empowering. And that's what community is about, empowering others, the next generation. And you've done such a wonderful job. In the word castle, the legacy that we see, not only working with early childhood, not only working with the seniors, but the young people, you see the resiliency of the Chinatown community in the work of leaders like Bernie, like Albert. So we always be thankful for the work and the responsibility that you leave to many of us that follow. So when I hear that, a few times about Bernie's small shoes, I cannot wait, but to wonder and question that those actually the big shoes to fill, I will say. So I think those are the leaders that have shown us a different way, a way of resiliency and how our community, despite the obstacles, continues to thrive. Through Castle to the senior services, we see the blueprint of leaders. And today I welcome all the distinguished guests, and I also join deep congratulations to Bernie and Albert. Thank you for what you have done in our community. You leave us a big responsibility. We won't let you down. So congratulations, and for many years to come, what a wonderful and just celebration to make sure that one senior building carries Albert and your name. Thank you again for all you've done. Congratulations. Oh. And I'm not sure about Thompson. I don't think he's here. No, but I'd like to welcome then Mike Stratomidis from the Obama Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mike Stratomidis, and I'm with the Obama Foundation. As President Obama and Mrs. Obama got started in the work of creating the Obama Foundation and bringing the Obama Presidential Center to Chicago, they decided that they wanted to bring together a set of diverse leaders to be a part of a diversity and inclusion council to help advise us with every decision that needed to be made in every step of the way. And so with that, I, without having to pay any tuition or having to take an entrance exam, I got into the school of Bernie Wong. And my colleagues, Jamie Claire Flaherty, Kate Satang, we are all here not just as representatives of the Obama Foundation, who are incredibly grateful to Bernie Wong for her advice, for her counsel, and for her insistence, because when you get Bernie Wong, you don't just get Bernie Wong, you get all of you, and so many more. She is always bringing other voices and other perspectives into the conversation. So we didn't just get, we're not just here as professionals who benefited on our day jobs from knowing her. We're also here as Chicagoans. We're also here as people who want to make a difference in the world. And we have a mentor and a guide in Bernie and Albert Wong. So I'm here with just a full heart and with immense gratitude. When President and Mrs. Obama heard that Bernie and Albert Wong were receiving this tremendous honor, they sent a letter, and I have a copy of it here that I'd like to read to you. It's from the desk of Barack Obama. It is my pleasure to offer my warmest congratulations to Mrs. Wong and all of our neighbors in Chinatown on the rededication of the Albert and Bernie Wong Senior Living Community. We are all lucky to have a neighbor like Bernie looking out for us. Her contributions to the Asian American community in Chicago are innumerable. The depth of her empathy and the breadth of her commitment are a model for organizers, agitators, and advocates across our city and our country. And perhaps most important for us to recall when we're feeling like change may be slow and arduous. What we all know now is the Chinese American Service League was once just Bernie and Al sitting down in a small community room trying to figure out how to get a few folks access to a social service or two. And lucky for us, not only did they figure out how to help those few folks out, but they figured out how to lift up an entire community, helping more folks to get on track and stay on track, and to deliver on the sacred promise of a brighter future for our children. Bernie, we are grateful for you. We are inspired by you, and I have no doubt that Al is watching down on this celebration with a heart full of pride and a warm smile across his face. Congratulations to the Chinatown community. Michelle and I send you our very best with warm wishes, Barack Obama. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you to all of our elected officials who took the podium and shared some very truthful thoughts and personal thoughts about Bernie and Albert. So we are now getting to the rededication part. So Bernie and Albert also had a long working relationship with the world-renowned artists, the Joe Brothers, here in our community. And so as part of the rededication, there is a very special statue, which I haven't seen yet, so I'm so excited to see it. Please welcome to the microphone one of our Joe Brothers to talk a little bit about this statue and what it means.
On behalf of the Joe Brothers, Today is my privilege and honor to be here to celebrate with you for the birthday, the celebration of legacy. My brother and I, we came to Chicago in '86 after we have a big museum traveling exhibition in China, throughout China, and that was in our the peak of our artistic career. And we decided to come to Chicago to move to the international stage. But when we came here the first year, my brother and I, we have about $30 and 2 suitcases. And right after we came here, we meet Bernie Wong. And she's the one to put our feet in this city and provide a lot of possibility for us. So we have to say today, Joe Brothers are very active in the international art scene. Without Bernie Wong, without the castle, the Joe Brothers artistic story would be different. So for many different reasons, for our friendship, for celebration, for Bernie legacy, my brother and I decided to create a sculpture very special for this dedication. It's called Red Angel. This sculpture represents the greatest human spirit. And I hope you can see that later. So, Bernie, thank you very much for the friendship and for all the achievement and wonderful, great. I don't know what's the best word to say, but your great spirit. Thank you.
Get to do the unveiling right now. There it is. And we're going to do one more unveiling, which is the actual sign that you now see outside of the senior living community. And that is right next to the statue, so we're going to pull the cloth off so you can see. So that is now the official sign outside the senior living community. And we hope you can take a chance to see it on the way in, that you will take a moment to see it on the way out. So Bernie, without further ado, I'm going to bring you up on stage now. You know, as much as like she's in there with everybody, she really doesn't love the attention that we like to give her. So Bernie, come on stage, come on.
Wow, what do you say after all this? This is such incredible. I feel so humble, so blessed. Good morning, everybody. This is a standing room only. This is really amazing. Thank you for taking time out of all your busy schedule to come and be with us to celebrate with Albert and me. And of course, we are always lucky to have our good friends and celebrity MC, Judy and Nancy. Give them a hand. I do want to thank, there you are, Ray, just looking at where Ray is. Ray, you are a game changer yourself too. Ray, if it wasn't for Ray, the Chinese community would be very different. And if it wasn't for Lakeside, when I went to ask them for one table, one chair, he gave me 2 tables, 2 chairs. And that's how we all got started. And you're almost the first Lo-Fi member, almost. But you're the first active Lo-Fi members on the board. But before I forget, let me just thank everyone who helped put this event together. Paul, where are you? And Jim, my former boss, but still my boss from the board. The development and facility staff, if you're here, wave your hand. Thank you so much. Laurie, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much for putting everything together and all the volunteers. I feel so humble and so blessed. I want to thank, it's hard to thank everybody here. Everybody's so special. I just want to say I feel so blessed because I'm surrounded by my family. My daughter's here. Try very hard not to tear up now. My daughter, my grandchildren, Tiana, came in from Ann Arbor. She's doing her PhD program there. And Matthew, my grandson, who everybody took off from school, sneaking in from here. My brother and sister-in-law, Selena and Albert, I don't know where you are, but they came in. They came in from Wisconsin just for this occasion. I want to definitely recognize C.W. Chen and Heidi. There's so much talk about Castle and how successful we are, but they are definitely a part of the very early, the founders and early group that we get together. Thank you. I have my longtime friends from the Cape Grove from Champaign, my elementary school kids, and Albert Elementary, high school kid, actually, they're here. There's just, I don't know, is Father Lee here? Oh, Father Lee is here, my pastor is here, so I'm okay, I better watch what I say. So many people are here, all the speakers. It's just wonderful to hear them talk, and I just feel like you're all my long time friend. And Congressman, what can I say? I mean, he did change his schedule. His schedule said he was supposed to leave this more early morning. You have just been just so wonderful throughout my whole work here at Castle. And he was also one of the person who helped us with our senior housing and getting senior housing approved. So thank you so much. My daughter's boss is here. I didn't have to mention her. God bless you. Thank you for coming. And so many of you, I know I'm going to miss everybody, but I do want to also welcome all my my new friends from the Tai Chi and water aerobic, which I go regularly now at the Park District, and many of them are here today, so it's wonderful to see them. Yes, most of you know I had to abruptly say goodbye to Albert, my husband of 50 years, early in the year. But I'm sure he is enjoying this moment and thanking all of you as well. Right, David? David's a good friend of Albert, and please thank you for coming. I want to thank the board of the Albert and Bernie Wong Senior Living Community. That does have a nice ring to it. for awarding us this remarkable honor. More importantly, I want to thank the seniors themselves for allowing us to share our name with them. After all, they have to live and look at it every day, right? My heartfelt thanks to our talented friend, the Joe Brothers. It's amazing. I did not think I would get such an incredibly generous gift. Thank you so much. That Red Angel will not only beautify our community, I'm sure you all agree, but will remind us of your successful immigrant story and inspiration to so many others. So 20-some years ago, when the seniors came to me and said they needed affordable housing, the board at that time, Ray's here, Art was there, we all said, we don't know anything about developing housing. What are you doing developing housing? And as well, the complicated application to the feds. But it was very hard to say no to the seniors. They are very passionate with their requests. And fortunately, we were equally passionate about meeting their needs. just as we are about developing and growing other programs for our community throughout the years. People look at us and say, "You're pretty gutsy. What do you know about building a senior housing?" I remember saying to someone, "Isn't it okay to be gutsy? It is on behalf of other people." Others say, "This would come any day soon. It will take you at least several years consecutive application tries to get approved by HUD." Well, in spite of the naysays, we applied and was approved on our very first application. So here I have to stop to thank all of those who helped us in the process, including former Mayor Daley, Senator Karamosti Brown, and our very own Congressman Danny Davis, as I mentioned earlier. Thank you. Thank you, of course, our board at that time, and some of them are here today. It does take a village to raise a child or develop a successful project. I want to thank everyone for keeping our senior housing one of the most well-run, right Susan? Most well-run and happy senior homes in Chicago. Our board of directors, chaired by Ray Chin, I'm so sorry that he's not able to join us today. And of course, Nancy Leung, our faithful first and only manager of the housing. You heard her speak earlier. Our management partner, Embrace, thank you. And the wonderful residents who are ever so happy and grateful for being there. Since I have the mic, let me take this opportunity. My board knows I do that all the time. I take this opportunity to thank Castle supporters, funders, professional partners, with so many of you here, my mentors, my mentees, some of you are here too, our dedicated board of directors throughout all this 40 years or 39 years I've been on the board. Our loyal staff, I can't say enough about how appreciated I am for all of you. Former staff, current staff, you just make my job so much easier. And of course, Esther, who can't be, Esther, my work partner for many years, she cannot be here, she's in Shanghai at a conference. And Monica, I don't know if she's here. She's here? Well, I want to thank her too. Thank you all for the many years of encouragement and the trust that you have in me. I hope that you will continue the same support to Paul, our new CEO, and the administration, the current administration. I'm indebted to all of you. Yes, my 40 years with Castle has been a wonderful journey. What else can the old spunky lady ask for? Thank you, thank you.
I just want to add that I have emceed so many events for Castle and Bernie, and she says it all the time that I won't be able to thank everybody in my speech, but I think she managed to thank every single person in this room. Thank you, Bernie, for everything you and Albert have done. And the Congressman mentioned it, there's so much sacrifice that went into all of that. And we all see it, and so many of us in the room are who we are because of the work and the dedication that you put in. So we thank you, and thank you for your sacrifices. So let's take some pictures with the sign with Bernie. I want to say a few words. There is a reception after this. I know we're running slightly late, but that's okay. There is a reception, so we hope many of you can stay and enjoy the reception with us. We do have a surprise cake coming up too. I want to make sure we make room for that. Do we have that cake that's coming up to the front of the room? Oh, Maria, you're here. Come over here.
You know, you can't think of Bernie without thinking of someone who hasn't survived. And that is mentally, physically, and emotionally. She has survived so much. But if I were to itemize what I know most about her is, no one ever said no to Bernie. Ever. I remember the phone calls in which she would pick it up, and when you saw on the caller ID that was Bernie Wong, you knew that the only way that the conversation would end was with your saying yes. And it was selfless, and it was on behalf of a community that is absolutely flourishing. And but for Bernie Wong, we would not be here in this building today, and we would not be looking to the future of Chinese Americans, not only in this city and state, but throughout the country. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you.
Is Anna still in the room or Lou? We're going to go and take a few more pictures up here. Again, a reminder that to stick around for a reception, and we also, Bernie, don't go anywhere. You can take your pictures. Take as many pictures as you want, but we have a cake coming up, and we're going to bring your pastor up here to bless our food as well.